The New York Mets make another bullpen move, and this time they are calling up Alex Carrillo from AAA Syracuse to make his major league debut. It'll be a fresh arm in the bullpen to keep this pitching staff afloat that has been devastated with injuries all year here in 2025, and gives another AAA prospect a shot up at the MLB level. And fans don't really know how to react. They don't know who this guy is, but according to the experts, they should, and he has a really, really cool backstory to tell, which we'll get into only here on Mets Digest. I'm your host today, Mike Duda. I'll take you through everything, but first, we have to talk about some subscribers, and that being that 67.8% of you that watch these videos aren't one. So please do me a favor, do us a favor here at Mets Digest, and hit that free subscribe button. That way we can bring content to you about the amazing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into this, and we're going to talk from the experts because there really isn't much on Carrillo. I went and I looked extensively on the internet. I could only find one article before he was called up today where there is anything about him. It is absolutely insane how under the radar this guy was. So we're going to tune into that article, and we're going to hear a lot of it from Billy Hayen of the Sporting News. In that article, Mets out of nowhere prospect on verge of incredible rise from Mexican League to MLB bullpen. Now, this was from Tuesday, June 24th, so it is a couple of weeks old, but still, this prospect is actually really, really solid, and Hayen will explain exactly why. He says, quote, Alex Carrillo has an MLB right arm. New York Met fans might not know that name, even diehards. I'm a diehard. I didn't know him before I got called up today and before I started filming this video, but it's about time they did. Now, why? Part of it is his story. His story is super cool. According to Hayen, he says, quote, Carrillo took a remarkably unlikely path to reach the precipice of the major leagues, having made his AAA debut on Tuesday night for the Syracuse Mets against the Rochester Red Wings. He began his college baseball career at Pima Community College in California. Keep in mind, that is actually spelt wrong. The one article that they have about him, they literally spelt his college wrong. It's actually Pima with an M. We'll get into that in just a little bit. He could only turn that into a spot at NAIA Faulkner University. From there, he got 3 games with the Rangers rookie ball team, but then he was released in 2019 and hadn't been back in affiliated ball until this season. So yes, as I said earlier, it is Pima with an M Community College out there in California. And usually when you're an MLB talent person or a player or even someone that's good enough to make the minor leagues, if you go to a JUCO school, you are almost always going to get a Division I offer. You're going to be on scholarship at probably a pretty good Division I school. So it's very surprising that Carrillo is now in the MLB and actually didn't. He went from JUCO to NAIA. It's a step up, but it's not the Division I level. So Hayen's going to continue with this story saying, quote, Carrillo spent time in the Frontier League, the Mexican League, and the Venezuelan Winter League. Finally, the Mets gave him a chance this year. He started off with 19 appearances at AA Binghamton before being moved to AAA Syracuse. He got promoted midway through the year, and according to Hayen, he's legit. He says, quote, and on Tuesday night, Carrillo showed off some of the nastiest stuff in the entire Mets system. The 6'2", 245-pound right-hander throws from about 10 o'clock in a near sidearm motion. That's nasty. That is going to throw hitters off. Almost like a whip. That is so cool. And when he unleashes the baseball, it rips through the air with nasty tail and incredible velocity. He topped out at 99 miles per hour and consistently sat 98. When Carrillo went to the breaking ball, it swept across the plate at an average of 86 miles per hour. Now, I love the way that Hayen describes the pitches and the way that Carrillo throws. He makes it seem like he's just amazing. He makes it seem as if Carrillo is this fantastic pitcher, and it's ridiculous that he's finally being called up now for his MLB debut, and we'll see when he pitches for the Mets. It very well might be true. This sounds really, really promising from Hayen. I like what I'm hearing from the experts here, and Hayen goes on to continue to say he belongs. He says, quote, Carrillo may not have traveled a simple path to this point, but he is here now in AAA, one step from the big leagues. Obviously now he's in the big leagues, with an arm that certainly belongs just based on raw talent. That is how talented this prospect is. Carrillo is a big league talent, no matter where he came from. All that matters now is where he's going, and he is going to the major leagues. SNY confirms it as we tune in here to Danny Abriano. He says, quote, the Mets are adding an intriguing arm to their bullpen ahead of Tuesday's series opener against the Orioles in Baltimore, promoting flame-throwing right-hander Alex Carrillo per multiple reports. Carrillo, whose fastball regularly reaches 100 miles an hour, had a 3.24 ERA and 0.92 whip with 40 strikeouts in 19 appearances, spanning 25 innings for AA Binghamton and AAA Syracuse this season. Carrillo, 28 years of age, will be making his major league debut. Now, this is Mets Digest after all, so we have to go over the corresponding moves, and right now there are none. So, Abriano, SNY, and all the experts are going to speculate a little bit. As Abriano says, quote, it is not yet clear which pitcher Carrillo will be replacing on the active roster, but Chris Devenski, Rico Garcia, Justin Hageman, and Brandon Waddell would appear to be the most vulnerable. The Mets will also have to clear a 40-man roster spot for Carrillo, which could theoretically be done by transferring Dednell Nunez to the 60-day IL. Now, transferring Nunez doesn't really matter. He's going to be hurt for a long time, so throwing him on the 60-day IL is fine. He was going to be out for 60-plus days anyway. This doesn't really do anything. That frees up that 40-man roster spot for Carrillo, which is exactly what you need. But out of the guys that Abriano mentioned, I think some of them should stay, particularly the first two names that he mentioned. I don't think Chris Devenski nor Rico Garcia should be sent down. Back on the 6th of July against the Yankees, Devenski only threw 26 pitches, so he will be plenty available tonight against Baltimore, barring getting sent back down to the minors, and he did well. He threw 2 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, and 2 Ks. Rico Garcia had the exact same stat line as well on the same day. It's just he threw 31 pitches instead of 26. Should be fine as well to throw tonight, so I don't see any reason why either of them should be sent down. Now, here's another guy that I think could be sent down. He did well. Both of these guys that I'm going to talk about did well, but they might be sent down because they simply threw too many pitches. Let's start off with the starting pitcher from the 4th of July, Justin Hageman. He threw 73 pitches, went 4 1/3, gave up 5 hits, 4 earned runs, and struck out 5. He did his job in that start, but he threw a lot of pitches, so he might be demoted solely because of that. And the other guy that Abriano mentions is Brandon Waddell. Now, this is also very recently. This is on the 6th, which is just Sunday. Today is Tuesday, where he threw 52 pitches against the Yankees. So, in all likelihood, Waddell will not be available tonight. So, I can see the Mets sending down Waddell solely because he threw too many pitches. He went 2 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, and had 2 strikeouts. And those 2 earned runs came off an Aaron Judge home run, where I believe that Carlos Mendoza should have walked Judge. We'll hear a little bit about that later. I'm going to make a video about just the questionable moves from Carlos Mendoza this year, so stay tuned for that. But solely because he's probably not going to be able to pitch tonight, I can see Waddell going down to the minors. Now, a guy Abriano didn't mention was Zach Pop. I think Zach Pop could potentially be sent down solely because he had a poor performance on 27 pitches back on Sunday. 1 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, and 3 earned runs. That is not very good whatsoever. So I could see him getting demoted based on a bad performance, but I think the most likely victim is going to be Brandon Waddell solely because he threw a lot of pitches. And the Mets, with all these injuries, are in a state right now where if you pitch, whether you pitch amazing or really, really bad, if you're not going to be able to throw the next day and you're not someone like a Ryan Stanek or an Edwin Diaz who has solidified himself, Huascar Brazoban, Reed Garrett, you are likely going to be sent down the next day. As long as you can be sent down, you're probably going back down. It's just the way this works. It's not offensive to any of these players. It's just the way the MLB works and the way the Mets have to work with all of these injuries. So, this video isn't about any of these guys. This video is about Alex Carrillo. So let's go into his story a little bit more. It is so cool. I love this. So, as you see at the bottom of your screen, he got signed as a free agent. He did not get drafted. He got signed out of that NAIA school with the Texas Rangers. As you heard earlier, he only made 3 appearances in rookie ball, and then he was cut. Then he went to the Purcios de Puebla, which is in the Mexican League. Then the Tigres de Quintana Roo, which is also in the Mexican League. Then he ended up going to the Frontier League and the Venezuelan Winter League before he got to the major leagues, before he got to the minor leagues, I should say. It's not even on his transaction list. Look at that. I had to go to Baseball Reference to find this, where he went to the St. Cloud Rocks out of Minnesota in 2019 for collegiate summer ball. Then he went to the New York Boulders in 2021, part of the Frontier League and Independent Baseball League. Then in 2022 and 2023, he went to those two teams that I mentioned in the Mexican League. Then he went to the Washington Wild Things in 2024, part of the Frontier League. Keep in mind, that's not even in the state of Washington. That's not even Washington, D.C. For some reason, they're in Pennsylvania. Make it make sense. Anyway, last thing, he went to the Tigres de Aragua in 2024 and 2025, part of the Venezuelan League. And then, of course, the Mets picked him up. He went to AA. He pitched great. He went up to AAA, pitched even better, which we'll hear in just a little bit. And now he's getting the nod to the big leagues just before the All-Star break. So let's go into his collegiate stat line, because this is really funny. When you look him up, I looked up Alex Carrillo stat line from college or collegiate statistics, something like that. It comes up, not with him. It comes up with a basketball player, then a football player, then a different Alex Carrillo who's a pitcher and plays baseball. He is not even listed when you go and look up the college names. It's absolutely insanity. This is crazy what Carrillo's story looks like. Obviously, he pitched okay in college baseball. He did not do very well in the foreign leagues and the independent leagues. But what matters is the minor leagues, and he has done really, really well in the minor leagues, as you see on your screen here. So a quick thing about this prospect, he's a double righty, 6'2", 220 pounds. Age 28. He is from Paramount, California. So remember all these transactions that we talked about, and also that Frontier League, the Independent Ball, the Venezuelan League, the things that didn't even come up on this transaction list? Yeah, let's go ahead and dive into his life. So he started out in California. Then he went to Arizona for that JUCO college. Then he went to Alabama for his NAIA school. Then he went to the Texas Rangers minor league affiliate, so he went to Texas. Then, later that year, he went to Minnesota to continue playing. Then he went to New York. Then he went to Mexico. Then Washington, Pennsylvania. Then Venezuela. Then Binghamton. Then Syracuse. And now he's finally in Flushing with the New York Mets. This guy has gone all around the map, not even all around the country, all around the world. It is so cool, this guy's story. So congratulations to Carrillo, of course, for making it. He will be the 11th player in MLB history from that community college, Pima Community College, that is with an M, and he will be the 4th MLB player from Faulkner University, which is out of Montgomery, Alabama. And as you can see, in 2019, he had 4 1/3 really clean innings. I don't know why the Rangers gave up on him, but they did. And obviously then he took his journey, a long journey, and returned here in 2025. Pitched okay in AA with the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. Not great, but in his 4 appearances with Syracuse, he has been fantastic. So obviously it has been a wonderful story for Carrillo. Go ahead, go down there in the comments. Let me know what you think about this pickup, about this promotion to the MLB. Let me know what you think of this story. The story has been incredible with Carrillo. Let me know all your thoughts about Alex Carrillo. Hopefully he pitches tonight against the Baltimore Orioles. Hopefully he does well. And of course, hopefully the New York Mets win tonight and continue to improve despite that really, really bad losing streak that I hope is behind us from June. Stay tuned for my next video as I'll be talking about this great week that the New York Mets have had. Again, let me know what you think about Carrillo down in the comments section down below. Thank you so much as always for watching, and let's go Mets.